Hello and welcome to Chapter 9, Lesson 8. Today we're going to be talking about modeling fractions and multiplication. Okay, so here we have learned to write a fraction as a sum of unit fractions. For example, 4/5 could be written as 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5. Okay, we kind of did that with the fraction tiles, seeing how we can break apart fractions and put them together. So let's see how that can help us today. So here, if we use an equation to write 4/5 as a multiple of a unit fraction, so if we were to use fraction tiles, which we don't have them because we're doing distance learning, but it says model 4/5 using fraction tiles. Draw your result below. How many 1/5 tiles did you use? Okay, so I'm just going to kind of take a bar here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I do 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5, I would use these 4. I wouldn't use this one, but that would make a whole, make one whole. So if I use repeated addition, you know that 4/5 is the same as 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5. How many times is 1/5 added to equal 4/5? Well, we'd have to use 4 of them. So 4/5 is the same as 4 times 1/5. Okay, let's look at the next page here. So you know that 6 is a multiple of 2, right? If I count by 2s, I would hit 6. Any multiples of 6, such as 12, 18, and 24, are also multiples of 2. The same is true for fractions. A multiple of a fraction can also be written as a multiple of a unit fraction. So if we used an equation to write 2 times 4/5 as a multiple of a unit fraction, we could use repeated addition to write 2 times 4/5 as 4/5 plus 4/5, right? So this feels confusing because it's fractions. So for example, if I said I wanted to do 2 times 4, I could write this as 4 plus 4. Okay, the only thing different we're doing is this right here. Out of 5, out of 5, out of 5, right? It makes sense when we talk about 2 times 4 is the same as 4 plus 4. Same thing. 2 times 4/5 means we just have 2 4/5 that we're adding together. Okay, so if we add fractions, if we took 4/5 plus 4/5, we'd get 8/5, which is improper. So model 8/5 using fraction tiles. Draw your result below. How many 1/5 tiles did you use? So here we go. Here's my one whole. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this would be 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, 1/5. That's 5/5 fraction tiles. Now I need to add 3 more. 1/5, 1/5, 1/5. So I have one whole. You just 8 of them. My pen turned off. 8 of them. So 8/5 is a multiple of 4/5. It is also a multiple of 1/5. 8/5 is 8 times 1/5. Write an equation to show that 8/5 is a multiple of the unit fraction 1/5. 8/5 is 8 times 1/5. So 2 times 4/5 is the same as saying 8 times 1/5. Right? Because look here, we're doing 8 times 1 is the same as saying 2 times 4. This is kind of a really interesting way of thinking about fractions and multiplication. So let's try another one. Write an equation showing how 3/8 is a multiple of 1/8. Okay, so if I take 1/8 and I multiply it by 3, maybe I'll write it the same way that they've been writing it. 3 times 1/8 is the same as, or equals, 3/8. Okay, so if we're going to write equations showing how 6/8 is a multiple of 3/8 and 1/8, then I can do this. I can say, okay, I notice that if I take 6 times 1/8, that will give me 6/8. Or I could do, I ask myself, 3 times what equals 6? So I could do 2 times 3/8 to get 2 times 3 is 6/8. Notice how I'm doing that? I'm doing 6 times 1 is 6, 2 times 3 is 6, and my eighths just stay the same. Okay, let's try some more examples here. Now this comes from your homework. We aren't doing the homework currently, so I'm just pulling some problems there to give you some more examples to watch to hopefully get a better understanding. So here it says to use an equation to write each fraction as a multiple of a unit fraction. Okay, so I have 5/6 here. So notice I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So I can do 5 times 1/6. Here I have 8/10. So I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 1/10. Now for 8/10, we could also do this, be kind of interesting, 2 times 4/10, right? And I think that'd be about it. So we're kind of looking at factors too. What numbers do we multiply together to get a different number? It does say to write an equation, so I better write 5 equals 5/6 equals 8/10 equals 8/10. Okay, let's try another. Use an equation to write each unit fraction or product as a multiple of a unit fraction. So for this one, I can do 3 times 1/8 equals 3/8. 7/12, I can do 7 times 1/12 equals 7/12. For this one, I can do 6 times 1/10 equals 6/10. So this one I could also do 6 times, oh, sorry, not 6. I can do 3 times 2/10 to equal 6/10, right? 3 times 2 is 6. I could do 2 times 3/10 equals 6/10. All right, let's go over here, 4/5. So I'd be 4 times 1/5 equals 4/5. Okay, I could also do 2 times 2/5 equals 4/5. Kind of cool. Okay, so here I am looking at 3 times 4/5. So what I'm supposed to do here is I'm supposed to be doing, okay, 3 times 4 is 12/5. Right? And so I could rewrite 12/5 as 12 times 1/5 equals 12/5. Okay? So here, 5 times 2 would be 10/5. So I should do 10 times 1/5 to get my unit fraction there. Okay, so see how I just multiplied these two, and then I did 10 times my unit fraction. Multiplied these two, and then I do 12 times my unit fraction. All right, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching, and make sure you ask me if you have any questions.